So this is Ultimech. It's basically Rocket League with giant mechs. Uh, at the time of filming this, there weren't too many options, just unranked 1v1 or 2v2. I think I'm pretty sure they've added ranked since I recorded this, but as fun as it is, I honestly haven't played it in favor of more story-driven games. But it's a good time, so I highly recommend it. So now it's going to load up. It's going to try and match some peeps here, which at the time of this, because it was all unranked, I don't know if there was any sort of matching really going on other than just trying to find a human to play with. So 2v2, you have 3 different bots you can pick from, and I'll go through that a little bit later. I like the average bot though. And set you up like this, put a little wall in the middle, you pick your position, and then it's 3-second count, ready to go. Woo! So you shoot your little hand out, and oh, that was a bad goalie, Rob. Bad goalie. What on earth were you doing? But as you shoot your little hand out, you move your hand, your real-life hand around, and the rocket hand moves accordingly. So it's a fly-by-wire sort of mechanic, and the medium mech goes at a medium speed. There's a lighter mech goes at a faster speed, and there's a bulky mech that goes at a slower speed. But of course, the slower the speed you accept, the stronger the hit. So there's a bit of a balance there with that. And they all have special moves, which again I'll talk about briefly later, but since this is going, I guess I'll ramble for a moment. The average mech, you pick up these little glowing orbs in the field, and then that gives you your power. And your average mech here can shoot out a hand like just a straight laser shot, basically, and blast that ball forward. So it's good if you have pinpoint accuracy and you can really nail it across the screen right into the goal. I have had limited success with that. Honestly, I've used it more to protect my goal than to be able to actually make goals. Now, one of the other bots can put up giant protective walls, which you'll see, I think, in the second match, but essentially it's the same as what's there to start with. It just was on a second ago there, and before they do the countdown. So they're smaller though, but you can use them to protect your goal or to kind of cordon the ball off on the enemy side to some extent. Obviously, it doesn't go across full screen though. I believe you can also damage people with it. If you put a wall up where the opponent is standing, you can damage or destroy them if they're not quick enough to skedaddle. The other mech, what the heck does the other mech do? I think it goes forward several spaces and plows through the opponent. So I think that's kind of like an insta-kill situation. Now, if your mech gets destroyed, you have to casually sit around for a few moments until you respawn, which obviously puts your teammate at a great disadvantage. But not too inconvenient, you know. So I don't really focus on destroying people because it just doesn't last long enough to matter. Like, you put more time into destroying that person, then they're gonna be destroyed. So, I just prefer to play the game, hit the ball. Ooh, yay, teammate. Good save. So, it's definitely a fun action game, and I initially lamented the lack of free movement. However, considering the speed at which you kind of want to move around the screen, I think it would have greatly limited the amount of people that could have played this game. because of course a lot of people do have motion sickness to varying extents. For my part, I can occasionally have problems where I either get a headache or a little nauseous, but the nausea usually only comes with flight games or driving games, and it really depends on how it's set up, you know. But generally, first-person games I'm fine with. I stand. I guess my body feels like it's doing the movement, and it's fine. But when you're flying around in a biplane, that's a different story. Then there's no hope for that. I'm gonna feel nauseous. So, anyways, I do think this is a pretty good setup. You bounce instantly, more or less, between these different little points, and once you're accustomed to moving your butt, you know, it's very quick to move across the whole board in just a couple of seconds and get where you need to be. You know, sometimes you just wish you could have been a little further over than you were able to, but oh well. I think the spots, having those set spots on the board, also helps eliminate, you know, weird things people may have done. I'm sure somebody would be like half into their goal just to block everything, or, you know, people figure out stupid ways to cheat, or not really cheat, but alter what was probably the expected gameplay style in a way that makes it less fair, less fun. So having this little bit of a regulation where you can only be in certain places, I'm fine with that. Despite the initial trepidation, I think it did play out well. So we're going into match 2 in 9, 8, 7, 0. Maybe I couldn't read that. I don't know, that was way quicker. So let's see, let's talk some gameplay, strategy things. I actually like being front and center now. Right when that starts, just gives me a good chance to hit that ball right off. But depends to which bot you got, how fast the little jet hands are, and you know, even if you're front and center with the big guy, you may be first to shoot and not even come close to hitting it first, because a smaller, faster bot will outpace you. If you hit the ball with 2 jet hands simultaneously, it is a stronger hit. I do believe they go over that in the tutorial. And, you know, if you hit the ball and they hit the ball in the opposing side at the same time, it really doesn't go anywhere. And as you can see, there's a lot of spin. You can get pretty accurate spin on it, which I was really happy with. Although that's not really always my goal, but on occasion there have been times where it's kind of going parallel to the enemy goal, and I have to nick it on the side to get it to spin on in there. And as you'll see in this match, there's actually at least twice, I think, that right there it is, I ran into the ball not realizing that my physical body would hit it. And you see how strong of a hit that is when you run into the ball with your mech body. So you got to be careful of that. Like, I almost I almost hit that into our own goal because I just didn't know that was a thing. But that can also be really useful. And just watching these videos, there was a couple of times that I'm like, oh, I should have applied that and just ran into it right there. I think since then I have tried that here and there, and the downside is you don't quite have a full sense of exactly where your robot body is, and you think you're gonna run into it and then you don't, and it just goes right by you. So I have had that happen too. Shoo. Oh, that's bad. Yep, right on in there. Oh well. 1-1 though. It's a good match. I like when it's evenly paced. Of course, I prefer to win, as I think everyone does, but you know, even if I lose and it's a good, evenly paced match where you really feel like you're fighting for every second of control of the ball, to me that's just fun, and that's what I'm playing for. So for some reason at this point, even though it said it had mic chat, audio chat, it did not, at least not for me. So yeah, I don't know, I assume since they've done ranked that they have incorporated that functionality, but weirdly it just was in the menu, but I never could talk to anyone and no one ever talked to me, and all the times I played this, which was quite a lot, until I got distracted by some other story-driven titles that came out. Resolution games, of course, they actually have a good handful of fun games and some competitive games. I tried out Blast On because that recently became free, and you're still just kind of, you're standing across from somebody just shooting guns at each other, various weird guns with weird effects, and yeah, it was kind of entertaining, but nothing I would really sit around and play all the time, so I did not hang on to that one, but it was fun. And Vimeo is the big one, which whole different kind of game, top-down board game essentially, with a lot of RPG adventure elements to it, but it's basically a dungeon crawler. And me and a buddy sat there and played that for, I think, like 5 hours or something one night. Just went way longer than I expected, but that was mostly his fault. He wanted to get everything in every nook and every corner and made it way more difficult. I played through one of them on my own, I think, in 3 hours. It was a Rat King. Alright. Did I win? I didn't even see. I think I won. I'll have to pause it later. Oh yeah, Mystic Saint 235. Oh yeah, looks like I was top on that match. Cool. Yay me.
Okay. 4 wins, 2v2, 3 losses, win rate 58, played time, accuracy 33. Oh, that looks worse. Look at that.
So just going through some of the options, you can have nicknames, which I think are kind of silly. You can have little decorative bits. You can change your colors. You can put up trackers, which we'll see in a moment, and that way when it displays your name before a match, it also shows different things, whatever you want to advertise. So like how many common goals you've made, or how many of those special goals in the little tiny thing up top you've made. I had a little trouble with the color flippy here, and I couldn't figure out how to back out of it, so I just went back down to the middle and started over. Here are, what is that, paint jobs, loadout, banner. You know, if you've played Rocket League, it's a lot of the same cute little silly accoutrement, make yourself look how you want to look. This is the tracker part.
That's the number of common goals scored overall. Supercharged.
And now onto some various colors. I do like the color scheme ability, you know, make yourself stand out a little bit, not look super generic. So that's fun, it's nice. But ultimately, all these little options are totally irrelevant to gameplay, which is the whole thing. So you don't have to worry about any of this. You can just pop in, start blasting the ball and have a good time. But I look forward to new advances with this game. I hope they take it a ways. Get that voice chat working. Hopefully it is by now, actually. It's been a while since I played this. Like I said, I got into quite a few other games that were story based. For me, these competitive online things, I just, come back to every now and then when the big long stories have burnt me out. Oh, here's some of the other games there I was talking about, and some of them I didn't mention. Alright, well, I'm going to cut off here in just a second, so don't waste your money on that crap, and we'll see you next time. Enjoy this game. A lot of fun. Bye-bye.